and welcome to the second episode of SLTU Dialogue. I am Alice Medard.
Send your spirit, God, not by might, not by power.
Teachers' Week celebrations commenced on September 30th with an ecumenical service held at the Finance Administrative Center.
Father in heaven, we invite your spirit here with us this morning.
The service was organized by the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College branch of the SLTU. Of course, it was spiritually uplifting as teachers engaged in prayer and worship. The first of two sermonettes was delivered by Mr. Benny August. He encouraged teachers to use their talents to help fellow colleagues when necessary. He stated that as professionals and colleagues, we ought to work together to help those coming into the profession.
Not by power, by your spirit, God. Send your spirit, God. Not by might, not by power, by your spirit, God. Send your spirit, God.
The second sermonette was powerfully delivered by Mr. Hilary Shalmine. Mr. Shalmine reminded teachers that we are to redeem the times and to transform lives that must never be taken for granted. Each life placed in our care is equally important, and as such we must endeavor to nurture each student in the best way possible.
We have an opportunity to impact a generation and to transform lives that we must not take for granted. Our profession gives us direct access into the lives of young people, the young people of this land, and that we must not take for granted. The opportunity that we have to shape, to mold, and to determine godly outcomes is unparalleled. Nobody can do it better than us. We are pivotal in the work of transforming a landscape, of redeeming the times, because of our distinguished position to determine the direction of a life. Am I exciting somebody here?
Yes, I am.
We can do this one life at a time.
The next event took place on Sunday, October 1st at the Kalime Beach in PI. The SLTU Family Fun Day was filled with energy, laughter, excitement, and lots of interaction among teachers. Coolers lined the beach and teachers engaged in the spirit of sharing. On Wednesday, October 3rd, over 100 educators converged at the Pastoral Center to engage in discussions on the theme, Quality Education Teaches the Heartbeat. The guest speaker, Mrs. Fortuna Anthony Husbands, believes that teachers are the heartbeat of any society. She explained that quality education and quality teachers are intertwined, and without teachers, quality cannot be at its best. She stressed that for quality teachers to exist, there must be a deliberate effort to invest in teachers. And now for some sports action. The final SLTU zonal football games were played on Friday, October 5th at the Larry Shoes playing field. The West and East team battled, with the East team emerging the winners.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Lucia Teachers Union, I want to thank you for coming out to the games.
name is Donald Albert, teacher at the Mikud Secondary School, representing the East team. Tonight we played a game against the West team, a very strong opposition, and I think it's one of the best games that we've had in the teachers' finals for some years now. The game ended up 1-0 in favor of the East team. All right, a goal scored in the first half. I think my team is a very strong team. On any day, we could beat any of the North, South, or Western teams. So I was really confident that we'll win it tonight.
I want to thank you for coming out to the games, the persons who traveled on behalf.
The North team placed third in the tournament.
Yeah, I'm Randy Polio, the captain of the North Teachers team. Today we played a very good game, although we were short. The other team, we were short about 2 men throughout the whole game, but we were able to come out victorious in the end by winning 5 goals to 1. Our team played a disciplined game, and then we just stuck to the plan and we were able to win.
41 recently retired educators were awarded by the SLTU at a gala dinner last Saturday.
We are honoring a special set of people, special group of people, people who have devoted their lives to national development. People, because of their efforts, because of their hard work, because of their sleepless nights, have contributed to the development of this country. As a union, as an organization of professionals, we see it important to not just allow them to live, but to say thank you to them because we appreciate the work that they have done in the education system and in this country.
The longest serving teacher is Miss Bernice Myers, who taught for 45 years at the Lacqua Mingo Combined School. Miss Ursula Flavier, Alval Shalmine, Miss Gwendoline Edward, and Miss Genovefa Valse each served the education sector for 44 years, while Miss Pamela Hitmeyer taught for 43 years. The SLTU thanks all retirees for their diligence and devotion towards education in St. Lucia. Teachers Week ended on Sunday, October 7th with a rally at the Montcubaril Estate in Soufrière.
You are qualified enough to be a teacher. And I have no doubts, and I'm not just saying that because I'm standing here. I always defended teachers. Teachers may ask certain things. You cannot always get it. But I believe that our teachers are qualified to take on the role that they've been asked to take on.
This week, we are focusing on rights. Rights of the students, rights of the teacher. And World Teachers Day allows us an opportunity as professionals to reflect on what we do, to look at the nobility of our profession, to look at the standards of our profession, and to seek to improve it, because we understand that education is about national development. Education is about building people.
Did you know? According to Article 16 of the Collective Agreement between the SLTU and the Government of St. Lucia, funeral or compassionate leave grants employees paid time off to attend the funeral and for travel and bereavement time upon the death of an employee's immediate family or close relatives. Close relatives include mother, father, brother, sister, spouse, parents of spouse, children, grandparents, grandchildren, adopted, foster or legal wards, and members of the employee's household. Employees requesting funeral or compassionate leave should seek approval from the appropriate head of department. 3 working days leave of absence with pay shall be granted to an employee on the death of a close relative to attend or to make funeral arrangements locally. Where an employee has to attend a funeral of a close relative overseas, he may be granted up to 7 days of paid leave. Employees may be granted time off to attend the funeral of a relative or friend other than a close relative. We will be right back after this short break.
At the St. Lucia Teachers Credit Cooperative, we know you're busy and we're always looking for innovative tools to enhance your banking experience. So we're introducing online banking, a service that goes with you wherever you are, and it's absolutely free. All you need is a cell phone or laptop. No more waiting on long lines to check your account balance or to update passbooks. With online banking, it's quick and easy. Just fill out a form, get your username and password, and access your account right away. With online banking, you can check your account balance, transfer funds, view and download your account history, create alerts for your account with emailed reports. One convenient service. Online banking with the St. Lucia Teachers Credit Cooperative. An educated choice.
Thank you for staying tuned to SLTU Dialogue. Tonight's guest is Mr. Don Howell, first Vice President of the St. Lucia Teachers Union. Mr. Howell served as General Secretary for 6 years and PRO for 4 years. Welcome to SLTU Dialogue, Mr. Howell.
Thank you, Ms. Medard, and it is nice to be on this program.
Mr. Howell, to start off, can you tell us a little more about your responsibility as first Vice President?
Thank you, Ms. Medard. Under the Constitution of the SLTU, the first Vice President is responsible for chairing the Education Committee of the SLTU. That committee is charged with educating members and engaging in action research that could inform what we do as professionals within the organization.
The Education Committee, I can attest that you have a very effective and hard-working Education Committee. A few days ago, on Wednesday, October 4th, we had an education conference at the Pastoral Center. The theme for this conference was Quality Education Teaches the Heartbeat. I find this was a very appropriate theme, but can you give us a little more insight? How did you come up with the theme and break down the theme for us a little bit?
Let me just say before I even go into that, that the Education Committee comprised of members who are hardworking, and I want to take this forum to thank them for the contribution that they are making to the organization and to the Education Committee. The theme for the Education Conference was a combination of two themes. As a teachers union, we are members of Education International. Education International gives an international theme in observance of World Teachers Day, which takes into account the quality education part of our theme. We are also partners with the Canadian Teachers Federation, and they too also put out a theme in observance of World Teachers Day, and that theme included Teachers, the Heartbeat of Quality and Public Education. And the committee felt that we wanted the support of both of our partners, and we saw the importance of what both organizations were trying to speak about, and hence they combined the themes and coined what we focused on at our education conference.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Howell. During that conference, teachers engaged in a lot of discussion, and there were a number of outcomes, a number of things came out of those discussions. Mr. Cumberbatch, he headed a little group, they facilitated, and they spoke about health and safety issues. And the teachers felt that as professionals, we must consider health and safety issues. So is there any issue that the SLTU has to deal with as it relates to the safety of teachers in school?
Well, before I even go into and delve into the issues discussed, I wanted to just say as well that the education conference is significant for the SLTU. It's a major part of Teachers Week 1, and also it helps the organization to strengthen the pillars that it stands on. It's a trade union, and it is also a professional organization, an organization that speaks to the upliftment and advancement of the teaching profession. And hence the reason we think that having such activities help to build the profession. At this activity, we discuss a number of issues within the education system. it is our hope that after those issues are discussed, the SLTU can compile all of the recommendations made to us by the members, so that we can come up with a position paper that would guide the organization. Now, health and safety is one of the issues that we'll discuss. We for a number of years, the SLTU has been engaging the Ministry of Education on school structure, school infrastructure, and if we want to be forward thinking and speak about quality education and meeting the challenges of our students, we cannot have teaching and learning happening in structures that are, one, outdated, structures that are dilapidated, and structures that pose health and safety issues for teachers and for students.
The teachers were concerned about that. Because some teachers actually said that there were schools that were not sanitized adequately. So there are a lot of challenges as it relates to the health and safety issues.
Yes, there are, and I would say that while there may have been some attempts by the Ministry of Education to put a plaster, for want of a better term to describe it, on the source that exists in terms of school structure and the health and safety issues that we deal with at school, there needs to be a more comprehensive approach. It cannot be a piecemeal approach to dealing with the issues at school. We have to look at the school plant. What we want, does it cater to students who are differently able? Do the special needs students? Does it
that was a big concern. We have no wheelchair access for students.
Right. We cannot have students and rats cohabiting in the same environment, and we have to look and take those issues seriously. While in some cases it may be trivialized, they play an important part in the quality of education that our students receive.
Okay. The important phrase, of course, is quality education, and teachers feel that the code of ethics, which guides the profession, does not adequately cover certain aspects. And one of the things they were vociferous about is the appropriate dress code. Because, of course, your deportment and the way you dress, of course, that has to link to professionalism. What is your take on that? Has SLTU dealt with biting issues or troubling issues when it comes to the code of ethics and the appropriate dress code?
It's quite fitting that you brought up this issue, which was deliberated upon at our education conference. The forefathers of the SLTU felt it necessary, and that was identified by our teachers, that this is a noble profession. Teaching is, when you're a teacher, you're a professional. And the organization recognized that. And the SLTU, standing on its professional pillar, developed a code of ethics that provides a guide for teachers and what we expect of our members when they function in the schools as teachers. Sad to say, the employer has never saw it fit to develop its code of ethics. Okay? But the SLTU has, and we can boast that the employer refers and make reference to our code of ethics when dealing with matters of education in the system.
Okay. Another aspect that I want us to take a quick look at is our teacher initiation. The new teachers, they feel that there is no initiation. They are just thrown into the profession, and sometimes they have very little guidance. Is there anything SLTU or you, as first vice president, can do to help initiate teachers into the teaching profession?
We recognize that teachers coming in need to be properly oriented. That is something the SLTU has lamented with the Ministry of Education for a number of years, and therefore we wanted to lead the way in that regard. We have organized orientation sessions for persons who are coming into the new teachers. We want them to maintain the standards befitting of a teacher and what SLTU represents, and therefore we felt it necessary to to have that orientation for them, where they go through the code of ethics, look at standards within their professional behavior as teachers, some of the expectations, the law that guides their practice, the parameters in which they work in. All of those discussions were held with new teachers. We have done one leg in the south, and we are due to do another leg of that orientation exercise in the north.
And I'm sure teachers will be looking forward to that, especially the new teachers.
Yes.
And of course principals as well, because having new teachers sometimes can be a little troubling, getting them oriented.
Yes, and that was another area that was brought up in the education conference. Principals, school administration, and quality education. There were a number of issues that came out in terms of support for principals in human resource management. One of the sore points for the SLTU is that when we thought we were making headway in terms of providing principals with support in terms of the administration of school, with secretarial services, that was taken away from them. Primary school principals are now left stranded to deal with the administering the school, deal with being instructional leaders, while we expect them to answer the phone.
So they have to be receptionists, secretary, and administrators.
And we've been lamenting with the ministry. We've even given them a proposal maybe to begin doing so at the district level, twinning schools that may be in close proximity. But that doesn't seem to be bearing fruit at this point, but the union will continue to advocate for that because it was working and it is necessary.
I am hoping that the SLTU can make greater headway when it comes to getting principals the assistance that they need. And the final question, Mr. Howell, teachers are lamenting arduously that they are not getting the opportunities to take on leading roles. Of course, you have the principals and they're in the school as standard, and they are the administrators. But teachers, they want to get the opportunity to lead as well. So is there anything SLTU First Vice Education Committee can do to give them some kind of training that would encourage principals to give them the chance? Because if they obviously are trained, then maybe they will get a chance to be an administrator for a period of time.
Seeing that in many ways the Ministry of Education falls short in supporting teachers professionally, the SLTU has undertaken a number of initiatives to help boost teachers in that regard. One of them is that we have enshrined in our collective agreement the issue of career pathways for teachers, so that teachers can have some level of mobility within the system without becoming an administrator and leading in some regard. Through dialogue or advocacy from the SLTU, HODs were developed at secondary schools, and a protocol for the operations was developed in collaboration with the SLTU with a reduced workload, and they too are being given opportunities to lead in schools. More so, in the Education Act, the roles and responsibilities of teachers, outlined in the Education Act, mandates that they be part and parcel of the administration of schools. So the SLTU, while this was an issue raised at our education conference, recognizes that, and we, through continuous engagement with the Ministry of Education, will continue to advocate that, for more opportunities for our members. We are also looking to partner with, as an education committee, with the Toastmasters Club, that will help teachers to develop leadership skills, how they deliver presentations, how they project, how they are able to develop leadership skills in various forums, not just within the classroom, but maybe at parents' meetings and what have you.
Okay, very good. I wish the Education Committee all the best. I know you have a lot of work on your hands, and I know that there is a lot to look forward to. So Mr. Howell, thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having me, and it was a pleasure. Long live the SLTU.
Long live. We will be right back after this short break.
At the St. Lucia Teachers Credit Cooperative, we know you're busy and we're always looking for innovative tools to enhance your banking experience. So we're introducing online banking, a service that goes with you wherever you are, and it's absolutely free. All you need is a cell phone or laptop. No more waiting on long lines to check your account balance or to update passbooks. With online banking, it's quick and easy. Just fill out a form, get your username and password, and access your account right away. With online banking, you can check your account balance, transfer funds, view and download your account history, create alerts for your account with emailed reports. One convenient service. Online banking with the St. Lucia Teachers Credit Cooperative. An educated choice.
Thank you for staying tuned to SLTU Dialogue. Fun fact: a teacher has as many eyes as she has students. Yes, we do have eyes to the back of our heads. Thank you for tuning in to SLTU Dialogue. See you next time. I am Alice Medard.